confrontation, and to be honest, it sounds like they should have been able to diffuse, a situation like that before it went where it eventually did. People expect the police to be clever, and why not? We should expect that. And in this situation, those guys, they weren't clever. However, let me just put something to you. I have little doubt that there are people listening right now who believe that you acted like an arse on that day, and that it was you who provoked the whole confrontation. What I want to know is, do you take any responsibility at all for what happened that day?
Yeah, I take responsibility for asking a question. That's it. I mean, I wasn't offensive towards them. I didn't touch them in any way. I didn't raise my voice to them. So, I acted legally. As I said, having been in the police force for 2 years.
Forget about legal and stuff, but do you think, were you being a bit of a smart-ass by not moving on when they asked you to?
No. If I'd have been a smart-ass, I would have turned around to the police officer in the second, when he first of all said, because we're the police, I would have turned around, and if I was a smart-ass, I would have instantly turned around and said, well, that's pretty obvious there. You're wearing a police uniform. Hey, bright comment, thanks very much. But, I didn't. I wasn't there to argue with him. I wasn't there to, cause a scene, to fight him, or, in any way, shape or form do anything in that manner.
And Pat, what about you? You witnessed the entire thing. Does your friend here have to take any responsibility for what happened that day?
Nah. Well, the way I saw it was when he said, oh, look, I'm just going to go and ask them a question or why they're parked illegally or whatever. First thought was, oh, why bother? The police and stuff happens when you talk to coppers. But yeah, okay, fine, that's fine, fair call. Went up, and he was polite and everything was fine, and everything was over. It was all finished. Like the copper had pushed him and everything. Peter hadn't responded. And all that sort of stuff. So, and then the police officer just flew off the handle for no apparent reason. And at the time I thought, yeah, you brought it on yourself by approaching them. Then I had a good think about it. I thought, no, well, why not? I mean, we live in this society where you're supposed to do certain things, you're told to do certain things, and if the people who are telling you or who are enforcing them aren't doing those things, people are afraid to even just ask a simple question, you know what I mean? And that's why I was prepared to put up the money for the court case and everything, I mean, you could have just gone to legal aid or something. I had a good thing about it. I thought, no, this is, and I was there the whole time, saw the whole thing. I knew there was nothing, he wasn't attempting to provoke anything or anything like that.
Peter, where do you plan to take this matter to now?
Well, I've got to raise some money for a lawsuit. You can't enforce the law. My belief is, anyway, you can't enforce the law if you're breaking it. Right? If you're going around breaking the law, then all you're doing is you're a criminal. So you're the one that should have the law enforced upon you. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think that was a major offence. Right? But I just wanted to call it to his attention. I mean, he's blocking a car parking spot. He could have moved the vehicle. He was standing there doing nothing when I actually spoke to him. So when I question him and I get this verbal abuse, I mean, to me it's like, well, he's not a good... how should we say? It's not a good image for the police force anyway. Someone being in the police force to act in that manner.
You're planning on suing them. You're obviously going to be seeking compensation for this.
Yeah. Well, I've lost liberty. I've been injured. I've had my rights taken away from me. I've basically it's been I've been abducted, injured, abducted, and tortured.
Final question.
Yep.
How much compensation do you believe you deserve?
And that's a good question. How much is my life worth? How much is my freedom worth? Look, to put a figure on it, I mean, this is a tough one. Look, I'd love them to throw $100 million at me. It's not likely that's going to happen, though. I mean, look, realistically, there was a case about 3 weeks ago where someone had sued the, I think it was the education department for being bullied in school, and he got $500,000.
Okay, but let's not get away from the question.
All right.
How much compensation do you think you deserve?
Do I think I deserve? Look, as I said, I mean, look, I've got a pretty good, self-worth. I believe that I'm worth a lot. So just for the injury alone, I don't think the injury alone is really worth that much. Maybe like, 100,000. But for the, for everything else that happened with it, I mean, if it's an unlawful arrest, it is an abduction. So I've been abducted. I mean, that's you're taking away my actual freedom. So I mean, that's got to be worth like $1 million. Who knows? Upwards.
Okay. We've got to wrap up. Can I just say, just on a final note, that the listeners are going to be, they're all going to have an opinion about what happened to you.
Yep, they're entitled to it.
But the one thing that I want to say to you is congratulations for stepping up to the plate and talking about it.
Thank you, Tim.
Because it takes guts to put yourself up there, to live through it again, but then also to put yourself on the line, open for public scrutiny, basically, and that's what you're doing tonight.
That's correct.
And you're doing it for what I believe is a genuine reason with police accountability. You think that they need... You felt strongly that's why you asked them in the first place. It's probably where it all started. You feel strongly about it.